The alchemist picked up a book that someone in the caravan had brought. Leafing through the passage pages, he found a story about Narcissus. The alchemist knew the legend of Narcissus, a youth who can't daily visit beside a lake to contemplate his own beauty. He was so fascinated by himself that one morning he fell into the lake and drowned. At the spot where he fell, a flower was born, which was called the Narcissus. But this was not how the author of the book ended the story. He said that when Narcissus died, the good goddesses of the forest appeared and found the lake, which had been fresh water, transformed into a lake of salty tears. Why do you weep? The goddesses asked. I weep for Narcissus, the lake replied. It is no surprise that you weep for Narcissus, they said, for through we always pursued him in the forest. You alone could contemplate his beauty close at hand. But was Narcissus beautiful? The lake asked. Who better than you to know that? The goddess said in wonder. After all, it was by your banks that he knelt each day to contemplate himself. The lake was silent for some time. Finally, it said, I weep for Narcissus, but I never noticed that Narcissus was beautiful. I wept because each time he knelt beside my banks, I could see in the depth of his eyes my own beauty reflected. What a lovely story, the alchemist thought. Part 1. The boy's name was San- Santiago. Dusk was falling as the boy arrived with his hair at an abandoned church. The fool had fell, fallen in long ago, and an enormous sycamore had grown on the spot where he sacri- sacris- sacristy had once stood. We decided to spend the there night there. He saw to it that all the sheep entered through the ruined gate, and then laid some planks across it to prevent the frog from wandering away. During the night, there were no wolves in the region, but once an animal had stra- stayed during the night, and the boy had to spend the entire next day searching for it. He swept the floor with his jacket and laid down using the book he had just finished reading as a pillow. He told himself that he would have to start reading thicker books. They lasted longer and made more comfortable pillows. It was still dark when he awoke, and looking up, he would see the stars through the half destroyed roof. I wanted to sleep a little longer. He thought he had the same dream that night as a week ago, and once again he had awakened before it ended. He arose and taking up his crook began to awaken the sheep that still slept. He had noticed that as soon as he awoke, most of his animals also began to stir. It was as if some mysterious energy bound his life to that of the sleep with women he had spent the past 2 years, leading them through the countryside in search of food and water. They are so used to me that they know my schedule. He muttered, thinking about that. For a moment, he realized that it would be the other way around, that it was he who had become accustomed to their schedule. They were